Bayern Leverkusen are cooked. They went from having back-to-back successful years with Xavi Alonso, right? He came in and absolutely took a potentially good Leverkusen team and made them world-class, invincible. Then they went and challenged again to Bayern Munich and went to the Champions League quarterfinal, to the round of 16, sorry. And then Xavi Alonso unfortunately departed to Madrid, which everybody knew, he was having success in Leverkusen, and it was kind of his tryout for Florentino Perez, and the inevitable happened. And then this team has fallen apart. Erik Ten Hag, yes, we thought we left this name 2 years ago in the dirt, dusted. But no, he's returned. He's returned, man. If you're a subscriber for this channel, you know how much we hated Ten Hag and how much we were, absolutely ridiculing him. But he's back, man. He's back. And he's better. It's as if he never left. Granit Xhaka knew him very well and saw that my man Ten Hag was employed at his team and said, nope, I'd rather go fight with a relegation team in Sunderland than stay here and be with Erik Ten Hag for at least the season. No way, Jose. And somehow, props to whoever's running, Bayern Leverkusen's transfers, which is clearly not Ten Hag, but they got a 4 million profit out of him. That just shows how poorly Edu ran Arsenal. But Granit Xhaka to Sunderland, it's a move for Granit Xhaka to go to England and kind of get a little bit of a redemption, even though he's kind of redeemed himself already with Arsenal, the way he turned everything around. But he's going to Sunderland. Him against Newcastle is going to be fireworks. Him and Joelinton are going to have a boxing match on the pitch. But back to Erik Ten Hag, man. First game, 5-1 loss to Flamengo's U20, my man. What in the world? How do you get absolutely ran off the pitch by Flamengo? Not even Flamengo's team. Their U20 squad, mate. 5-1. Yeah, no wonder Granit Xhaka was screaming for help. And then Sunderland were like, mate, would you do it? And he said, Leverkusen Champions League football, Sunderland, relegation back, I'll do relegation, anything but Ten Hag. And I completely respect it. And, this man clearly showed a glimpse of what's to come at Leverkusen. If there was honestly an over and under at 8th place next year for Leverkusen, clip me now, they're going to be under 8th place. Because not only is Erik Ten Hag one of the most banter managers that we've seen in modern day era. After Ajax, he really just fell off, man. He was a big part of Man United falling off. And not only that, transfers, man. Transfers. Look at this. They brought in Mark Tillman to replace Florian Wirtz. Jeremy Frimpong, he's come in. And they've kind of yet to replace him as a, fullback. Either way, he wasn't really going to fit Erik Ten Hag's style of play. Frimpong, I feel like you get the best out of him out of a 5-back. And, Erik Ten Hag was going to put him on a 4-back. I think Ten Hag would have been, ballsy enough to put him at winger, though. Kwanzaa coming in to replace, Jonathan Tah. And Jonathan Tah goes to Bayern. Geez. I'm telling you right now, when Bayern plays Leverkusen, 5-0, 7-0. Oof, 7-0 again, mate. Ooh, different country, same story with Ten Hag, I'll tell you that. Vincent Kompany's going to absolutely have his way with him. But what I'm looking at is you have to replace, you replaced Florian Wirtz, you replace Jonathan Tah, you don't replace Frimpong, and you haven't replaced Granit Xhaka, who is arguably one of the more valuable players, in the last 2 years for Leverkusen. So you've got some business to do, as well as, it's just poor. It's a poor decision bringing in Ten Hag. Personally, there's 20, 30 managers that I could just think of top of my head that are better than Ten Hag. And just bringing him in, just absolutely, you're putting your club in a very bad situation. Because if you can't even handle the U20 Flamingo squad here, imagine what you're going to do against Bayern, against Dortmund, against, all these big German teams. Honestly, signing Erik Ten Hag for Leverkusen puts some, instead of a step into competing with Dortmund, with Bayern, you're actually becoming Schalke 04, 2.0. You're closer to relegation when you sign this guy to promotion. And this is clearly something that Man United fans know very well. This man is a destroyer of cultures. He is Thanos of managers, but in a bad way. You know, he's not gonna come in and dominate. He's not Pep Guardiola where he comes in, boom, I'm gonna be a top team. No, no, no. He comes in, you're a top team, not anymore, mate. But your best days are behind you. Simple as that. Absolutely, it's sad. It's saddened. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Do you think Erik ten Hag will be successful here at Leverkusen? I believe not.